What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 346 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I am your host, Christian Piles, joined today not by anyone from Easton, Pennsylvania, no one from there. To my right, Daniel Roy Lobdell Jr. To my left, Stephen Kyle Brackey. We use our full government names here. And we're ready. I'm going to take that out. I hear something in my ear. We are ready to go, and 133 is in flux. There's a lot going on, and the big news, I guess two big newses. So we had Fix versus Soriano 2 weeks ago, and that was insane, and no one can score. And now DeSanto takes down Soriano, and Philippi takes down and takes out Fix. So what do you make of that? The first thing I was thinking of is like, well, are these guys really that impenetrable? They're that good defensively? I think it speaks more to, if we go back to that match, Fix Soriano, they were just a little reluctant. They were a little reluctant to pull the trigger. Because I can't reconcile the fact, Nick Soriano can't touch his legs, but Mickey Philippi can on multiple occasions get to his leg. Right. And vice versa, Austin DeSanto can get to Soriano's legs, but Dayton Fix couldn't. I'm sorry. I'm not ready. I know Willie's theory is they just can't get in on each other, but my thought is they just had a very reluctant game plan.
And there's certainly, too, something about them being maybe bad stylistically matchup for each other to pull the trigger. Sure. But and I saw a lot of people talking about this like on Twitter message boards and stuff. Like there has to be some level of risk to get some reward. And I think the hesitancy kind of spilled over a little bit into this week, and I think it played a part in both of their losses. Fixes to Philippi and
I don't know. You could be right. You could be right. There's hesitancy, but let's start with DeSanto Soriano. Mm. So first of all, if you weren't there in Carver Hawkeye Arena, you didn't see the beginning of the match where there was a double stall and you missed the Soriano takedown because of the gripping Northwestern Rutgers basketball game. That was awesome. But at least credit to Big Ten for immediately putting it on YouTube so we could see the beginning of the match. So we don't really know what's happened, but the double stall, if you go back and watch, was for interlocking the fingers. I'm here for that. I'm all for it. I'm all for the double stall in general, right? It's kind of like it's similar in purpose to like the UWW passivity warnings, right? It's like, all right, get it going, and I have no issue with it. And someone made the point, if that had happened in Fix Soriano, would that have maybe caused a little more engagement there?
Possibly. I feel like with the interlocking fingers too, is they usually give them a warning before they...
Well, they did.
Yeah, okay, good. I didn't see the warning. But, so, I like that so much more than just the hands to the face. You get your warning, and then the stall call, it obviously can come back to bite you, but it doesn't necessarily damn you.
Right, and what it does is, and we saw it rear itself with Soriano, it adjusts your mat tactics. Not only can you not evade from neutral, but you've got a return guy. So, I do like the call, and one thing... When the interlocking finger stall became a point of emphasis or actually became a rule, we were like, you cannot prove who started it, which is why I was really upset in the Marinelli-Mackay-Lewis one when they're both like this and they come together and they gave Mackay a point. It's like, you don't know that. Like, you can't prove the intent there. So I'm all for the double warning there.
Do you remember the All-Star Classic when they first did it, and it was Epperly somebody.
Epperly Crutchmer.
Okay, and they called Crutchmer, I think,
yes,
for the interlocking fingers in sudden victory. And it was like, okay.
He totally forgot that it was similar to the sudden victory point for hands to the face with Soriano, because the official was like, all right, let's go. And then he remembered.
He's like, oh yeah, over.
This is over.
There was a match like that happened in Akron that really frustrated me.
What, interlocking fingers?
No, just the ref gave a point and didn't realize. And then it was like, oh, crap, this kid just won because there's like 2 seconds left.
Wait, I just determined the winner, didn't I?
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that. It happens.
Anyway.
Listen, I know I'm kind of getting diverted frequently. It's okay. I want to get diverted again because, we're talking little officiating things. The most lucrative sport in the world outside of the English Premier League, I guess, they got however many officials on there. They blew the worst call maybe in sports history in the Saints game, right? So when there's a sit out and there's a locked hands missed, when there's an interlocking, it's almost like, all right, man, just shut up. Like, I'm talking to myself too. It's like it happened, and it wasn't like the Saints thing, as egregious it was. I don't think it was malicious. You would never do something that in plain sight, right? So it's just a bad call, and guys miss calls badly. So it's gonna happen in wrestling, and those are well compensated individuals on the NFL side.
Yeah, I believe they're actually paid as opposed to.
Well, you get paid for NCAA, but it's like you're paid real money to do the NFL. Yeah. Whereas, also, did you know that the guy that works here, Reed, his dad is like an NFL line judge?
Yeah, he was.
Buried the lead. I'm playing slow pitch softball with this guy. He never mentioned.
He was on the field for the Patriots-Chiefs game.
You know?
That means he's really good, by the way, too, because the crews from the regular season don't stick together. They make them like all-star crews in the playoffs. Like, they put the better people at the positions like together. So he must be one of the best.
Flow Football's Kyle Brackey would know that. You should get him on. Get him on the podcast. Yeah. You got the end. Okay, so we're talking about officiating. Now, I will say during the Soriano DeSanto, I thought it was well officiated because Soriano ends up dropping down for a 5 count when he's on top. There's nothing. It's not even a question. When you drop down, the count begins. If you're not above the waist in 5 seconds, that's a stall. He already had a warning, so that's a point. At that point, I was really surprised that Soriano didn't just kick him. Right? Why continue to ride for so long? So he continues to ride him. He doesn't really return him. It's kind of one of those, could he return him? Could he not return him? But the rule is the top guy's got to return. It's on him to put him back down on the mat. He didn't put him back down on the mat, so he gives up another stall point. And at that point, he goes from kind of well in control of the match because I think he had riding time at that point. He did have riding time. So he had riding time. He's got an advantage. He had taken him down. Things are looking good. And then 2 stall points later, and then he has to let him up. There's 3 points, and it's a tie match. And then we see something that I've never seen from Soriano. I've never seen it. The guy wrestled Dayton Fix for a half hour, twice. He's wrestled everybody. His energy levels seemed to reduce. He looked tired. I've never seen him look tired like that before. And I don't know. So to me, it was in Carver Hawkeye Arena, the most famous wrestling arena in the world,
That's what
right?
I was just about to ask.
And I think you don't just get tired. You don't just have a conditioning issue, right? Like, you don't just all of a sudden you're out of shape, right? It's Nick Soriano. The guy's in like legendary shape. That to me is I'm guessing, and I wouldn't know, but it's like a psychological fatigue.
Well, and I forget who I was talking to about this. I think it might have been Coleman. I don't know, some coach. And they were saying the worst kind of tired is when you are trying to defend a lead and you have, and I think we've talked about this on the show too.
That was Coleman at U.S. Open.
Yeah, and you shut down your like attack mode, and it's like going in prevent too early, right? And it's just like, crap, now the snowball's rolling downhill, and I'm just backing up, and not doing anything that I would normally want to do, right? Nick's not doing any of the things he would normally want to do, other than just trying to survive and close the match out. And when you have a guy with a really tough pace and you are in an environment like Carver, sometimes you're going to leave yourself open to stuff like that.
So he gets and I think it was never more evident that he was tired than, DeSanto gets in on that's his attack. I mean, that's like, he's been in that single leg position probably 10,000 times in his life. But the fact that Soriano couldn't do something, square up just for the time being, or split, or kick out of bounds, that he was just able to kind of go, he tried to go head wheel, and then he comes back and gets the ankle, to me, is further evidence that this guy got tired.
Is that so? Okay. Whenever we're talking about something like this, we're picking nits, right? But is that maybe the one area where you can expose Suriano is if he has mental lapses, because it seems like it's rarely a physical thing, or it's rarely he's a worse wrestler, right? Like, is that the one area where if you can get him in that position, which is really hard, that you can take a match from him?
Well, let's look at his losses collegiately. He lost to Gilman and Carver, just a one takedown match. I don't think you would say that there, but he was coming at the end, but lost. That was his only loss that year. The year prior, his only loss was to Spencer, right? No one else beat him.
After,
And then now, this year, both his losses, going hands to the face is a mental lapse, right? That's not a wrestling skill thing. And then the not cutting him, I think that's it's more tactics than the wrestling itself. I think that's a really good point, and maybe something to look for. And if you're in close matches, that's the margin right there. That's the thing that'll cause you to win or lose the match, and that's what we saw with DeSanto. And I'm not saying that. Well, I guess maybe I am. I'm not trying to discredit DeSanto's win.
Yeah,
but it's just 2 stall points like that. But he was letter of the law. He was stalling. So,
well, and it gets back to whenever you watch a match, right? We look at a couple things, right? We look at, can it be replicated, right? Like, was it a goofy thing, or was it? And I'm sure we'll get to this when we talk about Rivera and Spencer Lee. Like, were the moves fluky? Was the match fluky in any way? Was the officiating weird? Was it in a clearly, like the next time they wrestle, it's going to be in a neutral environment at Big Tens as opposed to in Carver Hawkeye, where the Hawkeye should get a boost somewhere.
You say neutral. But after what DeSanto did in Minneapolis a week ago, it may not be so neutral.
Fair.
That may be a very pro Nick Suriano crowd. It may be pro whoever's wrestling DeSanto everywhere but Carver Hawkeye Arena moving forward. He has cemented himself as the supervillain. So also, I don't know if we're going to talk about him yelling at Suriano, but he did. He's so dang fired up. Like, he just
did you
lost
see
his mind.
Spencer talk about it?
Yeah.
I think Spencer did a great job, like, explaining it. He's just so, like, I don't know, he's a really emotional kid, and then, like, he's focused the whole match, and then the match ends, and he's like, I did it.
Yeah.
Like, I did what no one was thinking I was going to do, and I beat this kid, and I took him down, and he just loses his mind for a second.
Yeah.
They even asked DeSanto what he screamed at him. He's like, nothing, I just screamed. Like, it's just like releasing, like, everything.
And it is someone made this point in the questions, like, he's won lots of big matches before. I mean, he beat Spencer Lee. He was not like that. So but yeah, I don't know if it was just the emotions, and maybe he is being more composed during the matches. So is it like just this build up and he has to like release this energy? Because he used to be kind of like a wild card throughout the match. And now he's just like, all right, good behavior, and then boom, he's going nuts. Because, he had this Chaz Tucker thing, he had the Miocic thing, he had yelling at his corner all the time, right? So, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, he at least owned that he's got to get better there. Now, people are not going to really care until he stops screaming at people and doing that at the end of matches. They're kind of, let's see your actions behind it. But at least it would be worse if they're like, no, this is fine, this is normal behavior, and I'm going to continue to do this. I mean, good on Tom Brand's getting out there quickly and not letting that.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like the coaches realize that he needs to rein it in.
Yeah,
and they're working on it, and so at least there's that, and they're not just like embracing it and like, pumping them up and telling them to do it more. So
okay, I have a few thoughts about this. Number one, who cares? He screamed in his face. I don't. That's like going pistol. That's like G-Fire going Pistol Pete. Like,
I don't think so.
It's a little different, man.
Really?
Yes, for sure.
Why,
dude? You just lost, and you got a guy.
You ever seen a movie called Terry?
Yeah, I know.
Coach did the same thing. His coach did the exact same thing. Yeah. He was fired up after a big pin. He yelled in the guy's face.
Boom.
And the world kept spinning.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's not an egregious thing. He didn't kick him. He didn't. I don't know. Like the screaming in the face. Like that's not a big deal.
But you were upset with him after Minnesota.
Yeah, because he bounced a dude's head off the mat and spit on the mat. Those are totally different actions.
Okay, I guess those are different. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. I thought it was a little over the line, but I wasn't.
Now another thing.
I would call it partying.
Somebody brought up this point to me. When the point was taken away, was it on Coach Brands for leaving the mat, or was it on DeSanto? Because if it was on DeSanto,
listed as unsportsmanlike conduct.
On DeSanto?
Well, if it would have been for Brands coming on the mat, it would have been for control of mat.
Okay. Now, here's the theory.
But that was my point. Was somebody was like, if DeSanto has gotten 2 unsportsmanlikes in a row, he's supposed to miss the next match,
which would be Illinois.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I don't think it probably
even if they come in different
match.
duels.
Like
they told me that
it's like the yellow card in soccer.
Yeah, if you get consecutive unsportsmanlikes, you're supposed to miss the next match.
That's stupid.
You should what? You get one per. Now
I just like it's just something to like keep an eye on.
If you lose a team point in back-to-back duels, that's pretty.
You should be suspended. That's stupid. I'll go full Willie. That's stupid.
What if it was the last duel?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I hadn't heard about this because I don't know that I've ever seen it happen.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. Man,
I'm not advocating for miss a duel, but like somebody brought this up. Like I'm genuinely curious if he has to miss the duel now.
Yeah, the coach actually, it was probably the same person, was like, "Hey, he should have to sit now." So we'll see if he has to sit. I hope not. I want him to continue wrestling because it's entertaining every time. So DeSanto wins, and I think we can get back to just 33 as a whole. But I think now we need to transition to Mickey Philippi beat Dayton Fix. And there's some, interesting scenarios here where I thought Dayton came out super assertive. He almost scored a few times. He got in late in the period. He had an inside trip, but it was out of bounds that I think was a clear instance of when you should see the edge stall call because his action brought it to the edge. He did an offensive movement to get it out of bounds. Had he not backed out of bounds, he probably wouldn't have been there. But they didn't call it, and you're going to see that. A rule that nebulous, you're going to see that. It's going to happen. We're never going to get it right until that rule becomes more black and white, so it's not their fault. So, and there was like a little shift in the match, I thought, where I felt like Mickey really started to get a beat on Dayton's legs, and he fired off quite a few single legs. Dayton had to kick out, and then finally, at the end of the third period, persistence pays off, and he gets a single. He's able to climb up it and get the finish out of bounds. And then at that point, Dayton was down 3-1, 30 seconds to go, and Dayton made the decision, I feel like, all in for the reversal, right? And it looked like he was maybe going to get it, but Philippi, and I gotta give credit, I forget who, I mean, I know Bracky definitely did, but you may have as well. When I was like poo-pooing this match, I was like, there's no one that can go with these guys. And, I mean,
you were using the transitive property of Suriano beat him, I think it was 8-0. However bad Suriano beat him in the CKLV finals.
Yeah.
Which you watched from 10 feet away, so that memory was there in your head. Like, I watched Suriano beat up Philippi pretty good.
My proximity to the mat wholly informed that decision. But Mickey did. I mean, Mickey, geez. I mean, you look at the season this guy's having and the wins he has stacked up this year. Luke Pletcher, Dayton Fix, Ethan Lezak. I mean, he's number 2 in the country now. Mm-hmm. Number 2. And honestly, he's been in the streets. Yep. We love it. Our number 1 guy, he's back. Micic is back. But he hasn't really hit. He hasn't faced the record. He beat Dylan Duncan. That's it. And Thornton. So he's back. And now that we're in Big Ten season, he's got Pletcher this week. So we're going to see Micic more. So I do feel good that he is the number 1. Mm-hmm. But if you just want to look at a guy that's been out there slaying dudes, Mickey Philippi. And I know he was all everything coming out of high school, and he was good. But I did not see this coming for freshman Mickey Philippi. Fair or not, I don't care how old he is. He's on the Tanner Hall plan. Doesn't matter. The dude's a freshman, and he's ranked 2nd in the country.
Is Philippi getting a little more kind of work smarter, not harder, and like like you were talking about getting a beat on Dayton and kind of Dayton's movements and being more cerebral and kind of figuring out like the mental part of wrestling a little better and like, okay, I like making decisions earlier and kind of sticking with them. Like, okay, to win this match, I have to really ride this guy, or to win this match, I have to do this specific thing or shut down this specific thing. And it seems like Mickey is like kind of shrinking the match in terms of like decisions he has to make to like one or two things and just keeping it as simple as possible. I don't know how else to explain because I don't get to watch Pitt all the time. But when I see Mickey, it's just like he's doing a few specific things really well and keeping the match winnable for him.
Yeah, I think that is what's happening. The way I would describe it is just he's got a pretty well-honed game plan, and he knows he has an identity as a wrestler. He knows his attacks. He knows where he's good on the mat. He knows how to counter.
And to an extent, he knows where he's not good, too.
And the matches are happening, by and large, where he wants. Now, he wasn't able to dictate where the match was happening against Suriano, and he got completely destroyed. So there's guys that just – I think that was a matchup thing because Mickey came in – it wasn't like a duel and bad performance. You see that often in duels, but the guy had a great tournament. He looked good. He had beat an All-American and NCAA finalist to make the finals. And then he got destroyed. So I think that was a matchup thing. But yeah, I mean, we were giving some credit to Pitt, and then they looked pretty solid against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is way better guys.
Man, that's got to be brutal for Oklahoma State. They made weight twice in less than 24 hours. So they weighed in at 7 o'clock against West Virginia, and then wrestled Pitt the next day, weighing in at noon.
Yeah, I didn't realize the match was at noon until like their Twitter account was like, this match is happening right now.
That's their second weekend of back-to-back
East Coast
2-day weigh-ins, East Coast trip.
If you count the scuffle, it's 3 straight back-to-back weigh-ins.
Oh, yeah.
That is insane.
And you can kind of see it. They look a little lethargic, I thought.
It was bound to happen. I mean, you just like biologically, they're going to have a down performance, and I don't even know. Dayton's energy levels didn't seem
No, I don't
bad.
think that. I don't think that played a factor in the match. It was like guys like Joe Smith lost a major late because he gave up a takedown.
Derek White was.
Yeah, Dakota Gear didn't look great. Yeah, Derek White.
Kellen Stout is so big.
Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh! I know Gear is an 84-pounder, but
the whole family.
He is so big. I mean, their last name's Stout. I don't think we should be awful surprised.
So with Philippi, what's interesting to me, can he get the 2 seed? Can he even get the 1 seed? Because, I mean, Tariq's been kind of in and out of the lineup all year. Pitt wrestles NC State February 10th in Raleigh. And then, I mean, if he beats Tariq there or Tariq's not there, then we got to consider Mickey the favorite going into ACCs. He's going to be favored in all the rest of his matches the rest of the way. Micic still has to wrestle Suriano. He still has to go through Big Tens. We still got to figure out who's going to come out Big Tens. It's Santo, Micic, Suriano.
Yeah, I see more chaos at 133 in the Big Tens. I think Micic will beat Pletcher. I do think Suriano matches up well against Micic, but I don't know. But I could see Micic, winning Big Tens certainly as well. So I think it's going to get more jumbled up. The only thing that if Micic runs the table, he will be the one. But he has to do that, I think you're right. I mean, he's set up okay, and I think he matches up okay against Tariq Wilson.
And then the point from there is if Suriano's 4 or 5, or Mickey gets the 2 and Suriano's 3 or 6, because we're considering like that's the one that has given Mickey the most problems so far. So yeah. I don't know, just interesting to see. Like, obviously seeding matters at every weight at all times, right? But just that specific match is going to be interesting to see how that falls in the bracket.
I mean, just Big Ten seeds alone are still so much in flux. It's pretty rare you see that. And where does DeSanto fit in this whole mix is a question, too. Like, the guy's beaten Ethan Lezak and Nick Suriano in back-to-back weeks. He beat Micic last year. The dude is, like him or not, it's not hype. The guy's legit. He's a title contender. You can't say anything but it. He just beat Nick Suriano. Is he my pick to win? No. But what I like is you've got to have a thing, that like an elite thing that you can do. And his pace is super elite. It's incredible. He can do that. He probably has the best pace of anyone. Maybe him versus Dayton is like Pace-a-Palooza. That'll be fun. February 24th.
Yep.
In Stilly. looking forward to that one. But yeah, where he fits in this whole dynamic. Now, DeSanto, if we kind of look at schedules, he's kind of sitting pretty through Big Tens, I believe. He'll hit Duncan and maybe one other ranked-ish, but not like a top 5 guy because he doesn't hit RBY. He already wrestled Lezak. He already wrestled Suriano.
Wow, yeah.
So he's got no one in the Big Ten until, nobody really of note. And then he'll have Dayton at the end, but that shouldn't impact his Big Ten seeding. So if there's a little more chaos, we'd be looking at DeSanto as the one in Big Tens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because if Soriano starts, if he goes and he beats Micic and he beat Soriano, he should be the one.
Right, because his only loss right now is to Gomez, which won't factor in. A loss to Fix, well, if he loses to Dayton, that won't factor in.
And now, what's RBY's opportunity to improve his seed? I know he'll have Pletcher.
He'll have Micic too.
Oh,
that's the BJC match on February 1st.
Oh, baby.
So that's his big opportunity. That's been his big opportunity for the entire year. He'll also have
Duncan.
Yeah, Duncan. He'll have Pletcher. So he's got some opportunity to move up. Yeah. So, but I would pick Micic right now.
Yeah, he looked good against Thornton. Pretty tough dude. Okay, so that's 133. Man, you just love to see it. Speaking of 133, Cefalo pins Gomez, which shame on Cefalo sparing us another 12-point comeback from. Gomez would have been down 9-1, I think, if he had fought off his back.
10-1.
10-1.
Because it was 4-1.
Oh boy, that's So, but we kind of talked about it. At some point, it's going to burn Austin Gomez to.
He gave up the first takedown on Sunday against Matt Schmidt too.
It's a tough life to live, Austin. We love it. We're here for the comebacks. They're great. But just for you and Coach Dresser and Coach Metcalf St. John's sanity, maybe just don't give up 4 or 5-ish points in the beginning.
Yeah, and I think Austin's pretty much owned it, and they're all aware of it, and they know it's an issue. But it's like, dude, you get this is it's. Whenever someone has these things, right? You're winning 1-point matches, or you're putting yourself in a hole, or you have something just like you're bad on bottom. Like anytime you have any type of issue like that, it just looms at NCAA's, like so huge.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I mean, how many guys have we seen like this where they just
consistently in holes? Yeah.
Yeah, they just give up points like this early, and then they just storm back. I don't know what it is about Austin stylistically or what it is, but it is interesting that happens. Other note, Albert beats Ironman. I think he matched up well. I haven't seen that match. I wanted to, but I can't find it anywhere. Unfortunate. But Ironman, he's just got a little bit to go offensively. He doesn't have a go-to leg attack takedown, which I think is really important. He's got good elbow control stuff, but it's not there enough, and Albert's so solid.
That's the thing. There's certain guys positionally and kind of how they wrestle that Jaden thrives on chaos. Mm-hmm. And if you don't allow yourself to get sucked into the chaos, you can beat him.
Yeah. What's going on Facebook, Kyle?
Yeah,
you're feverishly replying.
Someone said Austin Gomez was overrated.
Oh.
Who's that? They're incredibly overrated. That's a horrible comment. Austin Gomez is excellent. Probably a Penn State fan. Yeah. Bracky told him to delete this. It's not too late. Delete it. Delete your terrible takes.
I do that a lot on here. When they do something, I'm just like, delete this.
Please delete this.
Yeah.
Moderators, please delete this thread. Okay. The final upset was Mahler over Thompson. So a little Tiger-style revenge. Mahler's really good.
Mahler's problems, kids.
Yeah.
That problem ain't going anywhere.
And he's on my fantasy team, which is nothing but good things.
Yeah.
So good for him. All right, Penn State wrestled. And once again, kind of maybe this is the early January, mid-January lull for the Lions, but they did not look great. They did not have a tech or a pin for the first time since, I don't know, Brad Pataki era, maybe? I'm not sure. Phil Davis? So I don't know what to make. They were wrestling the number 7 team in the country, right?
There was like 7 ranked matchups, yeah.
7 ranked matchups.
6 or 7,
and all their big guns hit
other big guns.
Other big guns.
Yeah.
Like Nolf hit Berger, who's really good. number 2, in fact. Shinzo White is always going to be a really close match. Hall Labriola, we know Labriola is really good. Nickel Schultz. Now, I guess this is as good a time as any to talk about that match. And the chicken I won, because when this match happened, I got all these tweets. Everyone was so excited for me to win some chicken. So Bo Nickel only wins 8-6, and if you didn't listen to previous episodes, Kyle Brackey said that Bo Nickel would bonus through the rest of the season. And I said, no, he will not. And I said, let's bet Popeye's chicken on it. And he said, okay.
Actually, Nomad came up with it.
Oh, okay.
And
so
I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Because
I just watched Finn Scuffle. I was like,
yeah.
I wanted to get behind something. I wanted to believe in something. I
believe in the rest of 197.
I wanted to. No, you don't. You talk about how it sucks all the time. I wanted to dethrone you from your chicken. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a chance.
If you would allow, I would like to derail this episode for just a minute to discuss chicken bets, if I may.
Okay.
This could go a lot of directions. I know what direction he's taking this.
Okay, first of all, I want to address the chicken bet that I allegedly welched on.
I listened to it. You did.
So I listened to it. No. So anyone who knows chicken bets knows that the terms are the terms. And the bet was that Andy Simmons would outperform a 5 seed. When he became the 4 seed, the bet was null and void. And
what place did he get?
It doesn't matter what place he got.
What place
it doesn't matter what place he got. The point is,
I cannot believe you were trying to weasel out of this.
I'm not done. First of all, I was correct that he would beat Robbie Mathers. I was correct that he would lose to Logan Stieber. The problem is Jay Nyerman beat Logan Stieber. Now hold on. And the whole point, the ethos of the bet was that Andy Simmons was one of the 4 best 65-kilo guys last year, which he was. He was number 4. He ended up number 4 on the ladder. And he teched Jason Ness, which Christian said wouldn't happen. And the final point is,
you had McKenna beating him, by the way.
The final point, no, I didn't.
You said on that show, you said you didn't like McKenna's senior level results.
Yeah, I said I didn't like senior level results, and then I said, because that was talking about the preview, then after the brackets came out, after the seeds came out, I said McKenna has a really easy draw to the finals, which is what happened. Anyway, my final point, and I call on now Willie's not here, so unfortunately he who knows if he'll listen to this.
He will not.
I call on my fellow FRL members and the community at large to stop negotiating with terrorists like Christian Piles, who only make anti-chicken bets, never put themselves out on the ledge, never make any risky bets, and until then, there will be no more chicken bets, for me at least, because Christian, all he does is make anti-bets and call other people's bets stupid. And so until he puts himself on the line, I'll go double or nothing from the original bet, but until that time, I'm not.
All right, okay.
What are you going double or nothing with?
Here's what.
Well, it's still chicken.
No, I know, but like, what is the wager?
Oh no, he has to make the wager. That's the thing. He will never make the wager because he's a coward. He's a yellow belly. That was weird.
My calf hit the chair. You get an instant replay of that. Okay. Now allow me, Your Honor, if I may have the floor. You said that he would be top 4. Okay? He was 7th.
He would outperform his seed.
He was 7th.
Which was 5
You actually said these words. You were actually excited to admit that you predicted he would beat Robbie Mathers and lose to Logan Stieber. That was the first point you made.
Because I addressed each individual point that you made.
You were actually excited that was a prediction you made for him to beat Robbie Mathers and lose to Logan Stieber. You're thinking like you were right. You said top 4. He got 7th. Only a true weasel. You want to call me a coward? You won't pay your bet. It doesn't. Listen.
The bet was voided when the seats changed.
He got 7th. He would have been on. It'd have been one thing if you had made a finals prediction, which you did, by the way. Your preview predicted he would make the finals. It would be one thing if you said that and then he didn't. I would say, okay, you know what? Null and void. He was the 5 seed. He got moved to the 4. The exact same spot, basically in the bracket. He made it to that quarter. Okay, it didn't impact anything.
It didn't. It impacted a matchup that I didn't want him to have.
All right. Listen.
And then Jade Nyerman upset Logan Stieber, which screwed the whole pooch.
People are getting madder and madder at you because you're a weasel who doesn't pay your bets. Kyle Brackey, I know you just lost a bet to me, but you need to have my back here that he's a weasel.
Yes, he needs to pay the bet. But 2, our friend Sam Herring, young, impressionable mind, he was tweeting me about the chicken as well. And I said, Sam, this is an important life lesson. Be like myself and not like Nomad. And be a man of your word.
Yep.
And take your friend to Popeyes.
Yep.
Now, there is one thing I would like to say real quick.
Okay. I'm
going to take Christian to Popeyes. And you know what? I'm never going to shy away from a chicken bet because it's an excuse for me to get Popeyes. But Christian does some alarming things at Popeyes. One, he does not eat the biscuit. That is psychotic. And two, he gets mashed potatoes as his side and does not get gravy.
Now listen. All right. Now allow me to retort. One, I don't really like biscuits without like sausage gravy or like, I don't know. I don't really like biscuits that much. Okay. One. So sue me for not liking biscuits. Two, I love gravy. I put gravy on most things. Popeye's gravy is trash, and I don't want it sullying my mashed potatoes. Okay. That's item one. Item two. I'm prepared to take the high road here. First of all, actually, let's circle back. Talking about my cowardly bets. You guys are the ones dumb enough to make the bets. Say no, I don't take that bet. It's not a fair bet. You accepted the terms of the bet.
I told you I wanted something to believe in.
Okay, now, so here, you want to believe in something? Believe in this. I'm willing to up the stakes. Because I'm going to win this bet again if you agree to this. Double or nothing. You give me 2 3-piece meals, and you have to stick with your thing that bonuses the way from this point to the rest of the season. Now, I know you don't want to do that. You can say no, but
I'm going to say no, and I'll just go ahead and take you to Popeyes
because you don't believe.
Right, because I saw it. Because I saw it, and after his last 2 performances, you're right. I don't believe.
Okay. All right, and I know you will pay up on your chicken bet.
I will.
We'll do it sometime. It'll be great. Not today. It's Burger Bar Day here at Flo.
You let me know when you want the chicken, and we will go.
One last point before we get back to Penn State. I want all of our friends' thoughts on this. So every week on Tuesdays, right? We get food here, and they kind of list things out. And the menu listed burger buns as a side.
It's always got the entree, the sides, and like, I don't know, something else, dessert.
So there was chips for like potato salad or something listed as a side. Okay, like that is a side to a burger. I get that. A bun is not a side.
Not a side.
It's a thing that you either put on the burger or you don't. If you don't put it on the burger, that's fine. I get it. There's people that don't eat bread and are gluten and all that, but like, it's not a side.
It's not a side.
Outrageous.
Yeah, take that up with Melissa. She loves FRL. Okay.
Back to Penn State.
Did not look great, but it didn't really matter. They won 25-6. Talk about the matches of note. Nick Lee over Chad Red. And this thing with Nick Lee that's going to continue to, I think, give him problems is not a clean finisher, but a high-rate attacker. And the elite scramblers are making him pay. And Red made that really, really interesting at the end after getting a counter takedown. So for most guys, you can eat up a lot of time on the attack if you're trying to get to a leg. But for Nick, he's kind of putting himself in vulnerable position. So Red had a chance to win late, but couldn't ride out for the tie.
That was the stall that got there was a delay while they were trying to figure that out, right? Mm-hmm. And it went from 4-3 to 5-3. Well, it went from 3-3 to 4-3 with the stall, and then 5-3 with the escape. Correct.
Well, he lost 5-4 because he had riding time.
Right, but I'm saying it was 3-3, then the stall point given up, and then Chad's like, okay, I have to cut him now.
Yes.
Or he decided to cut him, I guess.
So Red was right there. And then Nolf Berger is never a match. Nolf came out and got the first take, and you're like, we can see how this is going. Did not major him, however, 10-4 win for Jason Nolf.
Someone asked this question.
I knew what you were going to say.
Why don't we get mad at him? Why don't we get mad at Nolf for messing with people?
Because,
I did get mad at the rake.
Huh?
Well, I did get mad at the rake. That was bad.
Okay, that was...
You did, but the community didn't.
They should have. That was bad.
I think it's very... I mean, I'm not caping up or like... I'm Team Gable. I'm Team DeSanto. I don't mind what they're doing by and large. But him picking up his feet and stuff, it's very playful and like... I don't know. To me...
That was more... I'm more anti-Burger in that situation.
He's not moving.
He didn't move.
He's like... And Burger's like this, like...
I'm just asking a question. Why don't we, like...
What? Because he's picking up his feet?
Yeah,
there's a huge difference in what's happening.
I'm way more anti-Burger in that situation. Or anyone. Like, if you don't move, like, and the guy starts messing with you,
What's Burger supposed to do when the guy's got his ankles right there? He's not sure what
he was
doing.
letting go of them. He was like this. He didn't even move.
But Burger stood there. It's like whistle.
Not moving.
Not moving. Then
Not moving.
Off leg.
He's picking up his legs.
I don't see a difference in Gable doing his little feet shuffle thing.
Oh, I don't mind that. I thought.
Yeah.
Of the Gable hierarchy continuum of things that are outrageous.
I do think.
Yeah, that ranks up there with Gable shuffle.
Right, that's what I'm like comparing it to.
Okay. I'll put it up there with the shuffle.
Because people lost their mind just about the shuffle.
Shuffle on, Gable.
Yeah, that was weird. I don't understand the outrage there. I don't understand a lot of the if there wasn't any outrage on off there. Like I've said it before, guys. Like Penn State pushes the line with how hard they wrestle, with their application of rules, with holds, with how they ride. And
Brock Height really wants them to get called for that mat return they do.
Yeah.
Where they leave their feet and do like the Pletcher does it too.
Michigan does a lot too. But like that's part of why Penn State is great, because they push the boundaries and wrestle hard and wrestle aggressively. Like
Vincenzo Joseph did not push the boundaries against Isaiah White, but he won. The guy's a winner. Finds ways to win. He can win ugly.
How about his series of matches with Isaiah and like slowly widening the gap and figuring out, even if it was just ever so slightly, like figuring out like, look, for whatever reason, Chenzo knows or feels or thinks like, I cannot go 1-for-1 with this guy on my feet. Like, it will not work out for me. So I have to win the match in other ways. I have to be more conservative, and I have to win the match on the mat. Because the only points that Chenzo scored against White from his feet are a chest wrap, which doesn't, in freestyle, which doesn't count in folk style, and off a reattack in second sudden victory.
Yeah. No, the points don't, for whatever reason, matchup thing, maybe it's a little Dayton Soriano. They just don't match up well from neutral in terms of points being scored. So that was boring. And then Hall Labriola was exciting. We had a locked hands review there against Mark, and, it's so tough to, I couldn't really tell if he locked or didn't lock. I don't know if y'all had a strong opinion either way there.
I didn't think he did on the one he got called. I didn't see it.
I don't have a strong opinion. I thought I saw it, but it's not, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
I was impressed with Labriola taking him down.
That was a great shot.
Well, that pick, that's how you got to finish on him, too. He just kind of blew through him on the pick, and Mark had to turn down. Didn't get Shakur Venz. It's like, man.
The trolling on Penn State's part.
That's not what's happening. They did not do that.
I don't know. They introduced Franny Basono and then put out Mason Manville. Like that. Why would you do that? That's so weird.
Well, it'd been if they had introed Shakur, and they're not going to tip their hand in any way, shape, or form about anything.
I get not tipping your hand, but like, what if you're already not going to wrestle Shakur? What is like? Okay, we found out Shakur's not wrestling, like the guy we were preparing for. So I don't know.
It's fine.
They're not trolling. I don't understand.
They're not trolling at all.
I don't understand why he didn't wrestle. I don't know why he didn't wrestle, but I don't think they're just trolling you.
I mean,
anybody
announcing Franny Basono and then sending out Mason Manville.
That's not trolling.
What is the point there? Why not list him as? It's weird.
Because Mason probably made 65 or 74 too.
He wrestled 68.8.
There you go.
I think Beyer said that.
Yeah. Maybe he was a flex. They know they're gonna wrestle him. They needed him. Duel was on the line.
Also, do we think that was a duck? Because I kind of was like looking ahead at various other matches. Like, there still needs a lot of things for it to happen for that to be considered a duck, and like seeds to fall in a way that maybe they think is favorable. So I'm kind of think it wasn't a duck.
They're not ducking.
I know
don't duck.
I know, but that's
I don't even think anyone's theorizing that. It's just like he's clearly probably hurt.
People definitely were saying
they're not ducking.
I
And it
just
is
don't
out of
understand
character.
why not wrestle him. Like, if you're gonna wrestle him, like, this is like the perfect scenario in rec hall. I'm not saying he was ducking. I just don't understand it.
And but it is out of character for them to not wrestle Chenzo and then not wrestle like 2 weeks in a row to not wrestle.
It's very out of character.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know what was up with Chenzo last week, but they said Shakur got hurt at the end of the match. His last.
He did.
There you go.
But I mean, it could just been like in that moment. But yeah, so just like looking ahead at all the like matchups that still have to happen in the Big Ten, that still have to happen for Shakur. I don't count as a duck. But yeah, he did. I think it was Reinhardt torqued his knee or something right at the end. So maybe that was a little worse than I thought it was watching it there. But yeah,
the nickel over Schultz, which we already discussed. Popeyes for me, 3-piece. And I'll give Kyle my biscuit. How about that? So it's really a true win-win for Kyle Brackey. We got some big duels coming up. I don't know how much we want to get into those right now because we have friends. They have questions. But Michigan, Ohio State, probably the premier duel coming up this week. That's the one I think I'm the most excited about. That's going to be on Friday, 7 o'clock. Should be a good one. And it's interesting. There's not a lot of, even though they wrestle every year, there's not a lot of repeat matches from a year ago. It's very different lineups for both teams in different ways. And so that's going to be, it's kind of a fresh duel, even though they wrestle every year and they're common.
It'll be different next year, too, with all the guys. I mean, Ohio State's losing McKenna, Martin, Micah.
Ouch.
And then Michigan loses Pantaleo. They're bringing in some different guys. So
yeah, that's gonna be a good duel. Maybe we get more into that on Thursday. Okay.
Can we?
Yes.
Just because I'm not going to be here on Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Can
Nomad's going to the Schultz.
Can I quickly discuss Schultz and Urigan?
Yes.
So, couple things about Schultz that really stand out to me. Number one is the big one, J.O. Molinaro. I think we can all agree that's the premier matchup. We saw that in the U.S. Open finals. We reran Molinaro's thoughts on the Oliver loss last night, right? And then we're also going to rerun Oliver's thoughts on wrestling Molinaro. In general, there's a lot of young talent there. Sasso, Carr, Hoffman. A couple girls making their senior level debut, a couple Greco Junior World Team members. So a lot of like young talent going into Schultz, and I think it's really cool if kind of the thing that we see for red shirts going forward. Also, Aaron Brooks, another one. The thing we see for red shirts going forward is like you wrestle some opens, then you wrestle Midlands or Scuffle, and then you wrestle Schultz. Like I think that would be a really cool pattern to start seeing. And then so that starts Thursday, goes through Saturday, and then we have Urigan.
Yeah, baby.
Live.
We sent Holmes and Mike off. They're on their way. They are currently on a plane to Moscow from Amsterdam. And then they're going to have a long layover. They actually might... they could be in Moscow now. And then they have a long layover. Then they're Moscow to Krasnoyarsk. So they're making their way. About 25 hours of travel. Fired up for this. We're gonna see Zane. We're going to see Ringer, Aymar, Gilman, Corey Clark. Kyle Snyder going for his third. Holy crap.
Him and Mensa
17
for their third in a row.
17, 18, and now looking for 19. And Mensa Stock as well. So, very excited. Urigan starts at 11 o'clock Thursday night?
Yeah, so if you go to...
Eastern.
If you're not familiar with our events tab, which I hope you all are, but go to our events tab. You'll see 2019, find Urigan. And you'll see schedule. It's on pretty much every events tab, and it'll show you exactly all the weights wrestling for that day. I'm not going to go over all of them because there's like 7 or 8 per day. But it starts at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central. It's actually Wednesday. It's actually tomorrow night.
It's actually February in Russia.
Yeah, because it's
12 days.
Yeah.
And 12 time zones. So, yeah, starting soon. And starting with women's freestyle.
Brackets for tomorrow should be out
soon.
Like by this time tomorrow, we will have brackets for day one.
Perfect. All right, brackets coming soon.
And I have done 2 previews already with 1 more coming, so please read those.
Gotcha. Okie doke. Here we go.
Q's from F's.
Q's from F's. Jacoby Smith-Watson asks, who's Micic's most likely Huckleberry? Who matches up best against Micic? I'll say, I think of the major contenders, I think it is Soriano. I think we saw Micic take out, it was a while ago, Fix, after getting teched by Fix. That was like 2015. There's a possibility Dayton's gotten better.
Possibility
Maybe.
Micic has gotten better, yeah.
Maybe. But that just seemed like, okay, he kind of figured some things out there. So I don't know. If you're looking for something, it's nothing but nits to pick. I think I would probably say Soriano. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Agreed.
I'd say Soriano. I'm very curious in the Fix Micic match. It could only happen
NC2A.
probably semis or later at NCAAs.
Correct. All right, now here's the thing. Sam Herring. He's talking rise over run here. He asks about improvement slope. Sam Herring, the official middle school wrestler of FloWrestling Radio Live, said, with the improvement slope that DeSanto has had recently, and him only being a sophomore, how much longer do you think we will get to see DeSanto at the top of the country? What's his potential lie with USA on his chest? Now, freestyle, we've not seen him do that.
I don't think ever.
I think he could transition fairly well because he's basically a neutral wrestler.
And that's the way he does that dump can certainly transition to fours.
Yeah,
freestyle.
four, or you can transition well to a trap arm from that. Yeah. So I don't know about his potential with the USA. He needs to start entering some tournaments for me to really determine that. I don't see him ever beating a Dayton, Spencer type of guy, Gilman.
That's the thing. With no freestyle experience, if Dayton got on top of him, you would expect the trap arm to come.
Yeah, that'd be match termination time. So now, him only being a sophomore, and a true sophomore, how much better is he going to get in that room? And here's one thing. And I remember talking with Coach Azevedo about this last year because he got ridden for like 5 minutes by Mueller, and he got ridden by Giraldo, and he was like, he's actually good on bottom. He's fine there. But everyone thinks it's like this huge weakness. So him not getting ridden now kind of corroborates. There's improvement there, but it was one thing that Coach Azevedo made a point to mention to me pre-transfer. Obviously, he's like, he's actually fine there. Doesn't have this glaring hole in his game. He's not bad underneath. So that I'll give him credit there for sure. But yeah, I mean, he can get a lot better. He's in a room where lightweights thrive and win national championships routinely. The 33 before him was Corey Clark, and he won. The one before him, Tony Ramos, he won. So I think he's going to be in the mix to win a title this year and the 2 years after. It's just a matter of, will he do it?
There also,
and then there's Gilman, who never won, right?
Yeah. There's also, and Bracky made this point. So, whatever they're saying about, like him improving his demeanor, I guess. Like, okay, fine, but what is clear is that the people have really taken a vested interest in him. And I mean, I get like that's what you're supposed to do, right? Like you're supposed to make all your guys good, but they clearly care about him. And maybe it was just lip service, and Spencer was a really good actor, but it really sounded genuine as far as that's what I'm saying. Like it could, but it really sounded genuine. Like these guys really believe in Austin and what he can do. So even just that alone can push a guy to a higher level.
Well, there you go. Okay, improvement slope, rise over run. Thank you, Sam Herring. As of today's rankings, how many number one guys would be your pick to win NCAAs? Maybe go weight by weight. So, want to do this? Pull them up. Pull them up real quick. Sebastian Rivera would not be my pick to win NCAAs. Go quickly here.
He would be mine.
He's your pick.
He would not be mine.
Okay. And speaking of Sebastian Rivera, wrestled this man.
Yeah.
He's making weight.
He was supposed to
He took 2 forfeits.
He was supposed to wrestle an All-American and Sean Russell Friday night. Didn't wrestle. I don't know why. He didn't wrestle Sunday either. But then Sunday, he's supposed to wrestle Connor Brown, who's ranked like 16th. Didn't wrestle. Took 2 forfeits. Supposed to have 2 Big Ten matches. 2 forfeits.
He probably had to wrestle Cody Brewer after that. That'd be horrible. All right. So, wrestle this man. Spencer Lee will in like, I don't know, a week. Less than a week now. That's going to be pretty exciting. So, I got Spencer. 133, Stevan Micic. Would not be my pick.
Yeah, I'm still going with Dayton, but Mickey, got my eye on you, bud.
Okay, it's got his eye on you, Nicky.
Mickey?
Not my pick.
So
you say Nicky or Mickey?
I said Mickey.
Okay.
He is a Suriano hater. What?
Yeah, I'm not picking Suriano to win this year.
But maybe Mickey. All right, cool.
I'm taking Dayton.
141, Yanni D, who has not been amazing.
Didn't wrestle last week.
Didn't wrestle. D and Dub. Got a D and Dub. But he will be my pick. Although, I am really starting to... I don't think Joey is better. I'm just starting to get these cosmic vibes my way that it's just like senior year. McKenna's going to put it together. He matches up well against Yanni. We've never seen the match. And by the every week, I'm getting a little closer to pulling the trigger on that prediction. But I'm not there yet. Yanni D is my champ.
Yanni D.
Yeah, it's hard to disregard those 3 successive comeback wins last year in St. Louis.
I know. We haven't seen much since. Fair or not. He did beat Ironman, though. Okay, number 1, Matthew Kolodzik. Mobbin season? You've already been mobbin.
Yeah,
mobbin all day. I said after CKLV I needed to change my pick, and I'm sticking with mobbin.
How about 3 of these 4 weights so far? We're going to see these matches all soon.
I love it. Very excited about that. We'll have Kolodzik Astronaut live on FloWrestling 2 weeks.
It's like February 1, I think.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll be there. We'll get Rivera Lee, and then we'll get Yanni McKenna at the end of the year.
Oh, baby. Okay, so no one's got Kolodzik, who has looked like the best guy all year, and Smash G. Feller, who had a tough match with Astronaut.
Oh, yeah, Kolodzik could make us all look very stupid, or at least me.
Man, I kind of feel stupid already. It doesn't take much. Nolf, next topic. I'm not allowing you to answer there. Vincenzo Joseph.
Yep.
I'm sticking with him.
He got that winner thing.
It's like, yeah, sure, Marinelli can and has beat him. Sure, Wick and Marsteller can beat him. But I just can't. Yeah. You can't say, hey, the guy just wins wrestling contests. All right. 74, Mark Hall.
That's
tough.
I will always pick Zahid, and Mark will make me look stupid probably at least one more time. But I just think Zahid's a little better. But Mark dominated the last one, so I got Zahid, though.
I got Zahid.
I'll take Mark.
Yeah, because Olivia will beat you down if you don't. Okay. Yeah, I said I'd pick Zahid after, even though I predicted Mark to beat him, and I'm sticking with that. 84, Miles Martin. You're not allowed to answer this one either. 97, you're not allowed to answer because Miles and Bo. And that's for your own protection, guys. And then heavyweight, Gable Steveson. We can indulge this. I will indulge it. I will pick him to win. But the guy, he's just kind of getting his way through matches. He's not really being challenged, but at the same time, it's like not full pedal to the metal. He decisioned Conan Jennings. He wasn't able to major or tech or pin the Connor Corbin. Iowa's 4-string. So that to me says, okay, well, maybe. So I'll say maybe, but he's still my pick for sure.
Gable
Steveson will be the first undefeated true freshman national champ since 1947.
Wow.
Great
stat pull there.
Okay. I need to double check the year, but I'm pretty sure it's 47.
We're going 47. What? That was World War II, I think, was going on. All right. Great question from Adam Fraunfelter. Thank you. That was a heck of a lot of fun. I don't want to ask that one. How can you tell the difference between the Brands brothers? Their face. I don't know. It's Terry's. I think Terry's. I can just tell them apart pretty well.
On screen, it's hard.
I have no issues. I'm almost automatic.
But when I'm in person, I can.
Yeah. I can tell. Can you tell pretty well?
Usually their hair is kind of a giveaway. Terry's is usually longer, and Tom likes to keep his trimmer.
Yes. Tom has the same hair always.
Yes.
Terry, he'll get a little more flow going. And that's been for years. There's Terry had some serious flow back in the day. All right. Any chance Molinaro, Zane, Jo, and Pico all go 65 with new weigh-in schedule? If so, who comes out as our rep in Tokyo? Molinaro is going 65. Zane and Jo are going 65. Pico, I don't see it. But if Molinaro can and Jo can, then Pico can.
Yeah.
But Pico also needs to practice wrestling and not punching people in the head if he wants to be our
I don't think he's coming back.
He fights this weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the theory. I think Pico will be at the Olympics.
The Olympics or the Olympic trials?
The Olympics. Wrestling for Mexico.
Oh, yeah. I do like this theory.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
We have seen a lot more guys start going for other countries. Yeah. That would make it easier.
It'd be a lot easier to make that team. Now would he go 74? That's a lot easier to make
Now he would
really all he has to do is make the weight and then he's on the team.
No.
Oh, he has to qualify. Yeah.
Right. So he would still have to go through one of those guys, Jo, whatever, Zane, whichever one of them wins.
Well, not necessarily, because
last chance.
All you have to do is make the finals.
Yeah.
So if he's opposite the American,
but I'm saying he still has to win some matches. to get there.
He will have to.
It will not be like Worlds where he can just show up.
Unfortunately, he will have to win some matches to make the Olympics,
Which is great. That's what we want. We
it.
want Pico to have. We want Pico to have to.
I love it when you can just automatically. Hey, remember that that skier that like just decided she wanted to make the Olympics, so she just entered every qualifier, and even though she can barely ski, she made the Olympics. Did you see this story?
No.
There's some way you can make the Olympics and qualify.
Like accruing
in, like,
points?
Skiing. She did like yeah. She just basically went to everything.
Accrued enough points and yeah.
I'll find the video. The lady can barely ski, but she's an Olympian. It's really audacious.
That is perseverance.
It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, all right, congrats. You found some like loophole into making. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. Get some sweet gear. Okay. I actually like this question. I thought it was really funny. I just want to read this question from Mason Beckman just for the response that this guy got. If CP Willie, Nomad, Bracky, Holmes, Spay, and Sion, and Bader were stranded on a desert island, who stands the best chance of survival and why? And EB replies, I've got Sion down as the first to openly discuss human barbecue.
So who are we eating first?
That is 100% true.
Which, by the way, the smart play is to eat Sion first.
Yeah, you need him out of the mix quickly. So I'll say first dead is definitely Nomad. You can't remove your shirt. You would die immediately.
You're first dead.
It's possible. I may be first dead via murder. Now, but I would not die of natural causes. You would have to kill me. I think Bader was designed to live on a desert island. The guy can.
Agreed.
His body is very resilient. He's the only person that went to Uzbekistan and did not have incredible intestinal distress. I've just seen this guy overcome a lot of physical obstacles. Although, on the spike ball court, Superman's showing a little bit of vulnerability. He hurt his knee just kind of backpedaling. So it's pretty so maybe is he starting to age? It's possible. But that's my vote. That's how I see the desert island scenario playing out. Okay. With the loss of David Jensen, Matt Schnitt, and Bo and Nolf getting decisions, how does it affect the Hodge race? Well, considering Bo and Nolf are competing against each other, it didn't impact it very much, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm still.
But it does get Jensen out of the mix.
Brockeye disagrees with me. I think it's going to be Bo at the end. I think it's Bo's to lose. I think he's going to continue pinning people, even though he didn't.
I think the edge goes to Nolf because he beat the number 2 guy.
Yeah, right now, he has beaten number 2 and number 3 in consecutive weeks. So right now, it's looking like Nolf, but in the end, it will be Bo.
Interesting.
Or Nolf.
You're right.
No, but it's Bo.
No,
I'm on record that it's going to be Bo.
Will it be Bo and Nolf?
How about
I really want.
Someone asked the question, what is the over/under for the amount of Hodges Willie wants to hand out this year?
2.5. Because I don't know. I think by the time the year ends, he'll think Miles deserves one too. Look at the year he's having.
Yep.
Throw Miles in the mix as well. So maybe a couple Hodges. I thought about
Miles should get a neutral award.
As a troll. Spay and I deliberated making Nolf and Bo both number 1 pound for pound in the country. It's not too late. Maybe we will.
Who is number 1? I never actually.
Nolf is. Nolf's just kind of been ahead of Bo all along, and there's no reason for him to pass.
Sure.
Okay. Nomad is still. Someone asked if you're still sticking with Fix. You are. Yeah. Now I'll say this. If you had a pick at 133, but there's nothing you've seen. All we've seen is chaos, apart from Micic. So there's no reason to there hasn't been like an evolution or some sort of revelation, I guess is the word, from someone else. So I think there's no reason to change your pick, right?
If Mickey had beat down Dayton, I'd be like, okay, that's a.
But no, I don't think so because Mickey got beat down by Nick.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm not picking Mickey.
But I'm saying if Mickey...
Because if there's one guy that clearly is in your way, and I understand you don't always have to beat that guy, but if there's one guy that's clearly in your way, that's a red flag for me, making picks.
Well, what are the odds that all NCAA champs are represented by the Big Ten?
Seems unlikely.
Well, it's definitely possible.
It's possible.
I think it could happen. It could 49?
Yanni and Zahid.
Yeah.
So 33 could not be. 41 could not
and
be.
Kolodzik.
49 could not be.
57 will be. 65 will be.
Right. They got the back half. But 33, 41, 49 is where the opportunity.
74 is a definite question.
Oh, yes, Eads Pac-12. Yeah, all right. So back half minus 74.
I'd say there's like a 25% chance it happens.
Yeah.
All Big Ten. I think it could happen. I really do. Okay. Any other questions that are top of mind you really want to get to? There were good questions. Okay, I like this one. If you had from Lee Schmalls, remind me to say the people's names if I don't, because sometimes I just read the question. I think you should get credit for asking a good question, Lee Schmalls. If you have to bet on one guy, which current NCAA wrestler do you take to make the 2020 Olympic team? Wrestling Nomad?
Spencer Lee.
Spencer? A lot of Yanni love these days.
Yanni's
I'll say
second.
I will say Gable Steveson. You forgot about Gable.
I guess I didn't forget so much about Gable. I was just like, oh, there's somebody else. But Gwiz, can he beat Gwiz? Gwiz is a two-time world medalist.
I don't know if he can beat Gwiz. I don't know. It may
I'll
be
say Spencer right now.
Because with Spencer, all right. So Spencer, to make the 57 team, he'll have to beat Gilman and Dayton to do that. So compare that to Gable of Kuhn.
Gwiz.
I'll say Kuhn and Gwiz. I'm not really going to give it.
Yeah.
I think he'll be surpassed Nelson.
I feel like they're all like number twos, right? Like right now, perception-wise, they are all somewhere in that like second or third.
I think Spencer's probably 2 or 3 until we see otherwise. I think you can say the same for Gable. So man, it's tough. I think it's those two. I think it's darn close who is most likely to do it. 74,
there's no one in that range that we feel can beat Burroughs or Dake. 86, there's no one we feel can beat Taylor. And then I assume it's going to be Cox and Snyder in the 97 finals.
Here's why I'll say Gable over Spencer by maybe just a small margin. I've seen Gable wrestle the senior level and do really well.
Yes.
And he was right there. And he beat Don Bradley soundly. And he should have beaten him at the Open.
Well, but he did.
Well, he did. But look at the adjustments that Gable made from Dom match 1 to Dom match 2. I think there's some things. I think Kuhn is problematic for Gable, and I think he would have been at Minnesota if it had happened.
Yeah.
But I just think the arc on Gable is like this, and I know he can go with those guys. I've seen him beat elite guys. We haven't seen Spencer wrestle at the senior level, right? And
why are we talking about Spencer, not Dayton? I guess
Oh yeah,
we're talking like Dayton's not in college.
So who's more likely to make the team between those two?
I guess that point alone makes it more likely to be Gable because Dayton and Spencer split votes.
Split votes.
And Yanni's got, McKenna, Zane, yeah.
Zane.
So yeah,
for the record,
so
Zane is my pick to make 2020.
So yeah, it's Gable by a little bit.
Gable by a little bit. Okay, it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I hope 19 is 19 is gonna be a great year for freestyle.
At what point do we start talking about Olympic redshirt? So I guess after the Open is when we can kind of fire up those talks.
Well, I'll allow it.
Okay. I put out the article, by the way, guys. You see the Olympic redshirt criteria. You see who is qualified already for Olympic redshirt. There's still a couple events that need to happen. U23 trials and NCAAs specifically and U.S. Open, but a lot of guys qualified.
I think we can go. We're ready to go. Control room. Want to mention, however, something we do a bad job of. We should do this every show.
Probably at the beginning.
In the beginning, in the middle. Feel free, anytime you guys, how to watch this show. Well, you can download, subscribe on iTunes. 5-star ratings, please. That's what most of you have agreed. We have a 5-star rating on iTunes. It's very exciting. So you can listen on that. You can listen on Stitcher. You can watch live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. You can watch live on FloWrestling.org. And then we upload the video afterwards to the site.
And we put the archive of the audio of Libsyn in the article as well.
We're doing, if there's a medium in which you think we can be giving you this.
I would like us to be on Spotify. I don't know what cost that is or what the difficulty is or how long it takes to upload or whatever.
Is that possible?
Spotify, yeah. Spotify, that's where I listen to most of my podcasts now.
Really? Okay. Well, please,
So we can
please
look
do
into that.
listen. Look, we should be doing way more plugs than we do. Not just for this, for other things. We're not plugging our events. We're doing a bad job of maximizing this platform that we have. So shame on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this music is playing or not. It might be. It might
We
not
all
be.
took our headpieces out.
My headpiece is in, but I can't hear it.
No music.
But we are not sponsored by anything.
Nope.
We are freewheeling. Personally, Popeyes. Call it up. We could have a chicken bet every week that would probably be covered.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
They'd probably just send us a gift card. And maybe the penalty would be you're not allowed to get Popeyes when you take the person to win. Or maybe we get a little $10 gift card for winning the chicken bet. I don't know how it's going to work. Popeyes,
Anyway.
just get on the phone and we'll figure it out. Don't know. We will be back Thursday. Will Willie? We don't know. Didn't know he wasn't going to be on the show today. Hoping he's back. We miss you, buddy.
Know who's number one the show tomorrow.
Next tomorrow. Because, we won't have Nomad on Thursday because he's going to Dave Schultz. Mm-hmm. That's right. Have fun in Rocky Mountain High. Which airport are you flying into?
I'm not touching Denver.
Dodged a bullet there.
Mm-hmm.
Not really.
Normally I do have flying to Denver, but for whatever reason this time I'm not.
I like flying into Denver just because that drive is just unbelievable. It's a nice hour. All right, there's the music. We are headed out. Thanks so much for listening. We will see you Thursday, come heck or high water. Lots of content coming out. We got a great preview of the Sebastian Rivera, Spencer Lee match. Those guys are wrestling live on Flow later this week. That is the match to watch for, in my opinion. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll be back.